Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Chris Abbott, but all my friends just call me Abbo. And in this video, we're going to be breaking down some outreach strategies in a way that maybe you've never really used before. So let's dive in and answer the question, can outreach ministry grow the church? Coming up. Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back. This video is specifically created for pastors and church leaders. We want to help you be more effective in what you're doing online, with digital, with social media, and with technology. So in this video, we're diving into some outreach strategies, and I'm actually going to share my top 4 tips for how to use outreach ministry to grow your church. And I think the 4 things that we're talking about here are probably some outreach strategies that you've never really thought about, or at least you haven't thought about these things in the context of outreach. So let's dive in. All right, tip number 1 is Google. Now, there are 2 parts of Google that I'm a really big fan of. Number 1 is local search engine optimization, right? So when you look at SEO, or search engine optimization, there's basically 2 sides to it. Number 1 is global SEO, which is basically whether or not people are finding your website all over the world. We don't care about that as the local church, right? What we care about is the second type of SEO, which is local SEO. The only thing we care about is the people that live within driving distance of our church being able to find our church. And so local SEO is a great way of doing this. And a great hack, a great way to kind of use Google as an outreach ministry is if you go to moz.com/local, moz.com/local, they actually have a program where you can register, and I think it's a couple $100, right? It's $300, and you can actually register your church. And then what they'll do is they'll actually create listings and register your church, all of your contact information, and your website with all of the major data aggregators that actually affect local search. Now, for you and I to go figure out how to do all this, number 1, I have absolutely no idea how to do it, right? Number 2, it would probably be a lot of research and a lot of figuring out. But for a couple of $100, we can just shortcut the process. You can sign up for Moz Local and they will do everything for you. So I did this for my church a couple of years ago. And what's cool is it's still working. So I literally just recently got a text message from Google saying, hey, congratulations, 46,494 people found your church last month on Google. Right? Now, I have no idea how they all found them. I don't know how it all works. I just know that I have a Moz Local account. We registered everything there about 5 years ago. And so now it's just continuing to gain momentum and gain trust with the search engines. And so over 46,000 people found our church in Google last month because of some work that I did 5 years ago. It's pretty cool. The second part of Google is the Google Grant. If you are unfamiliar with this, Google actually has a program where they will give $10,000 a month, legitimately $10,000 a month in free Google Adwords to nonprofit organizations, right? So the kicker is you have to have a 501(c), but as long as you're a registered nonprofit, you register with Google, you can apply for this program, and if you get approved, you get exactly what it sounds like, $10,000 a month in free Google ad money. It's $120,000 a year. So you can literally use Google's money to tell people about Jesus and invite people to your church. So I did this at my church a couple of years ago. I thought it was too good to be true. I heard about it on a podcast. I was like, dude, there's no way. But I reached out to the guy on the podcast. He confirmed everything, right? And so, man, I went out there, I Googled it, I found out how to apply, and sure enough, within a couple of weeks, we actually got approved. And so for the last 5 years, my church has had this. I think we were sending, when we first started, 6,000 to 8,000 people per month to our website to learn more about Jesus and to learn more about our church using Google's money. So I'm a huge fan of this. So tip number 1 is use Google. All right, tip number 2 is Facebook ads, right? There's 2.7 billion people on Facebook and 1.8 billion log in every single day, which makes Facebook the single largest missions field the church has ever seen. This isn't a marketing strategy. This is a ministry strategy, right? We have to start looking at this as an outreach tactic, right? So this is a way for us to be able to reach out to people who live within driving distance of our church and reach them for Jesus. So I think a lot of people look at Facebook as like an announcement platform or a way to maybe market the church, right? But we need to shift that, and we need to understand that every single person on Facebook is a gift from the Holy Spirit, right? It's the single largest missions field the church has ever seen, and we can use targeted Facebook ads in order to reach out to people who live within driving distance of our church and invite them to Sunday morning. So one important caveat about Facebook, right? I know people have different opinions about Facebook and whether or not they're targeting Christians, right? Or whether or not they're restricting conservatives, that kind of stuff. Here's the deal. Either way, whether they are, whether they're not, it actually doesn't matter, right? This is a missions field and we have to show up there, right? Like, man, there are missionaries who get persecuted and some of them killed, but it didn't stop them from going to the missions field. So we can't let something like that keep us from showing up on the missions field that is Facebook. So the single largest age demographic on Facebook are people ages 25 to 34. Right? It's about a third of the people on Facebook are between the ages of 25 and 34. So if you're trying to reach young families with kids, you just found them. All right, so before I get to my last two tips, man, if you like this video, if you're finding it valuable and you wanna see our future videos, make sure to hit that subscribe button, right? Whenever you subscribe to this and then you hit that little bell notification, YouTube is gonna send you a notification every single time we drop a new video. All right, tip number 3, plan your visit. Now, when I first started using Plan Your Visit at my church, it was kind of crazy. Number one, we found out that the majority of people that were signing up for Plan Your Visit were actually unchurched, right? And this kind of blew my mind because in my head, I thought, okay, Plan Your Visit is probably going to reach people who are already Christians, who are just, maybe they're new to the area or they're looking for a new church and they want to sign up for Plan Your Visit, basically schedule an appointment so that they can talk to somebody the first time they come out, they can connect with some key staff and leaders, have someone give them a tour of their building, maybe sit with them in service, at least save seats in service, help them get their kids checked in, right? But what we found is it was exactly the opposite, right? I was completely wrong. It's actually unchurched people that love signing up for Plan Your Visit. And what we realized is it's because it lowers the barrier of entry for these people that aren't used to coming to church or maybe never been to church before. And so what we found is it actually took our natural assimilation process, right? So typically someone would come out for the first time, visit our church, and then within about 3 or 4 months, they would join the church. It took that from 3 or 4 months till we found that 80% of people who went through Plan Your Visit joined our church within 3 weeks. Right? So from 3 months to 3 weeks, simply because people were making a personal connection the very first time they showed up. This is simple. This is just having an option on your website where people can sign up, schedule an appointment to visit church on Sunday, and then you reach out to them after they schedule a visit and you assign a friendly host, right? Just someone to show them around, help them get their kids checked in, give them a tour of the building, introduce them to some key staff and leaders, save seats for them in service, maybe even sit with them in service if they want, and then make sure that they meet the pastor afterwards, right? Because 80% of people who meet the pastor on the first visit will come back for a second visit. So Plan Your Visit is tip number 3. I'm a huge fan. If you haven't used it, I definitely recommend trying it. It's going to transform your assimilation and the amount of people that start joining your church. And finally, tip number 4 is chatbots. All right, now I know chatbots, just even the word can be a little bit intimidating. It's kind of crazy, right? It's kind of like the cloud back in the day when the cloud first came out, right? Everyone's like, oh, it's in the cloud, it's in the cloud. It's like, where the heck is the cloud? What is the cloud, right? Nobody understood there was just external servers that existed on the internet, right? Chatbots are kind of the same way. It's kind of a weird word. It's kind of intimidating, but all it is basically, it's kind of like a choose your own text message that lives inside of Facebook Messenger. Right? So these are just basically you're going to pre-write a bunch of answers, and based on the questions that people ask or the things that they click on, then Facebook Messenger will determine the answer that you've already pre-written. Right? It's pretty cool. It's a great way to introduce Plan Your Visit. It's a great way to collect prayer requests or even kind of introduce people to maybe a 21-day marriage challenge, right? Or something like that. So I'm a huge fan of this, and I think chatbots are the future, right? So it makes sense to go all in and kind of start to learn them now because I believe they're going to get more and more important in the next coming months and especially over the next couple of years. So it's worth taking the time to understand chatbots right now. So just to give you an idea of how effective chatbots can be, right? There's a couple of churches that have recently helped with Facebook ads that went to Facebook Messenger that kicked off a chatbot and then led to Plan Your Visit. Right? Simple 4-step strategy. We had a church of 15 that went from 15 to 50 in only 2 months. We had a church of 60 that went from a 60 to 110 in 3 months. And we had a church plant that was stuck at 130 go from 130 to 200 in only 3 months. Right? So they broke the 200 barrier in the middle of July. So while everyone else is going through the summer slump, right? Attendance is down, giving's down, everyone's at the lake or the beach, they were breaking one of the hardest church growth barriers known to mankind, the 200 barrier. And then they had the 2 largest membership classes of people actually joining the church in July and August. This is really effective, and it's too big of a trend to ignore. So I recommend going all in and starting to figure out chatbots. All right, so if you found this video valuable and you want to learn some more in-depth strategies on how to use Facebook ads or chatbots in order to grow your church, I've got a free gift for you. Just head on over to churchgrowthagency.com, or you can click on the link in the description below. We've got a free video kind of breaking down our 4-part system for how you can use Facebook ads and chatbots in order to reach new people and grow your church.